Every problem you face is a reflection of your inner world. The struggles, the obstacles, the challenges, they are not separate from you, but deeply intertwined with how you perceive yourself and your reality. The key to solving them lies not in fighting them or changing the outer circumstances, but in transforming the mind. Look at your life as a mirror. Every situation, every event, every person you encounter is a reflection of the thoughts you carry, the beliefs you hold, and the emotions you nurture. To change the reflection, you must first change what is inside. Stop seeing the problem as something outside of yourself and recognize it as a result of your own creation. In the stillness of your mind, you hold the solution. It is not in the doing, but in the being. Imagine the reality you desire and feel it with every fiber of your being. Close your eyes and see yourself living in a world where all your problems have already been resolved. Visualize yourself as free, as fulfilled, as someone who has everything they need. Once you plant this vision in your mind, let it grow. Do not concern yourself with how or when it will manifest. Your job is not to figure out the details, but to remain faithful to the feeling of already having what you desire. This feeling is the secret. It is the bridge between your inner world and the outer manifestation. When doubt creeps in, when fear tries to take hold, remind yourself that what you believe is what you will experience. Your belief is the blueprint for your life. Hold fast to the conviction that the solution already exists within you and that it will reveal itself when you remain aligned with your vision. Do not allow the outer world to dictate your inner state. No matter what seems to be happening around you, stay rooted in the truth that your inner world is more powerful. If you can feel the solution, if you can see the outcome clearly in your mind, then the outer world must conform to it. This is the law. In every moment, you have the power to shift your reality. The choice is yours. Will you continue to see problems, or will you shift your focus to the solution that already exists? When you align with this truth, when you embody the feeling of already having the answer, the outer world has no choice but to follow. This is not just theory. It is a truth that has been proven time and again. Your mind is the creator, and the world is its reflection. Change your thoughts, change your feelings, and the world will change with them. The outer world is a mirror that reflects the state of your inner world. Every experience you encounter, whether it be positive or negative, is a manifestation of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. What you perceive outside is a direct result of the mental images and ideas you hold within. This understanding is crucial because it shifts the focus from trying to control external circumstances to transforming the internal landscape of your mind. Many people believe that the challenges they face in life are caused by external forces. They think their problems stem from other people, unfavorable conditions, or bad luck. But this view is incomplete and misleading. The outer world doesn't operate independently of the inner world, it is shaped by it. Your mind acts like a projector, casting the film of your inner thoughts, beliefs, and feelings onto the screen of the world around you. If you see chaos, limitation, or lack in your life, it is a reflection of the chaos, limitation, or lack that exists in your own mind. The principle that the outer world mirrors the inner world is not just a philosophical idea, it is a fundamental law of reality. Everything that happens in your life is a response to the vibration you hold within. Every thought you think emits a certain frequency, and that frequency attracts similar energies in the outer world. If you consistently think thoughts of fear, scarcity, and doubt, you will attract circumstances that match that energy. On the other hand, if you cultivate thoughts of abundance, peace, and confidence, your external experiences will align with those qualities. Consider this: when you wake up in the morning and your first thoughts are filled with dread, anxiety, and frustration, you set the tone for your entire day. Every interaction, every event, every experience that follows will seem to reinforce those feelings. You might find yourself stuck in traffic, dealing with rude people, or facing unexpected challenges. It feels as if the world is against you. But in reality, the world is simply reflecting the state of your inner world. Now imagine waking up with thoughts of gratitude, peace, and optimism. You feel aligned, centered, and in control of your day. Suddenly, everything seems to flow effortlessly. People are kind to you, Opportunities appear out of nowhere, and even the small challenges that arise seem manageable. This shift in your experience is not a coincidence. It is the direct result of the vibration you created within your own mind. By changing your internal state, you change the way the outer world responded to you. The mind is an incredibly powerful tool, and the thoughts you feed it determine the quality of your life. However, many people are unaware of this power and live their lives reacting to external circumstances instead of taking control of their inner world. They believe that life happens to them, and they remain stuck in a cycle of victimhood, constantly reacting to the challenges that come their way. They don't realize that by shifting their inner world, they can create a completely different external reality. This truth becomes even more evident when you examine recurring patterns in your life. Perhaps you find yourself repeatedly facing the same types of problems, whether in relationships, finances, or health. These patterns are not random, they are the result of deep-seated beliefs and emotions that you have carried for years, often without even realizing it. The outer world continues to reflect these inner patterns until you address them at their core. Once you identify and change the limiting beliefs that are creating these patterns, your external circumstances will shift as well. It is also important to understand that the outer world is neutral. It does not have inherent meaning or value, it simply reflects what you project onto it. Two people can experience the same event and have completely different interpretations based on their inner state. For example, one person might see a job loss as a devastating failure, while another might view it as an exciting opportunity for growth and new possibilities. The event itself is neutral, but the way it is perceived and experienced depends entirely on the individual's inner world. By recognizing that the outer world is a mirror, you take back your power. You no longer feel like a victim of circumstances, and you realize that you have the ability to shape your reality from the inside out. Instead of trying to manipulate or control the external world, which is often exhausting and ineffective, you can focus on changing your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. When you do this, the outer world will naturally begin to reflect the changes you have made within. This understanding brings with it a sense of responsibility, but also a sense of freedom. You are responsible for the life you create, but you are also free to create it in any way you choose. You no longer need to wait for circumstances to change before you feel happy, successful, or at peace. You can cultivate those feelings within yourself right now, and as you do, the outer world will begin to mirror them back to you in ways that are beyond what you could have imagined. Problems are not something that exist outside of us. They are creations of the mind, rooted in the thoughts and beliefs we hold about ourselves, others, and the world. Often we look at challenges and difficulties as if they are independent, external obstacles to overcome. But the truth is that these problems arise from within, born from the way we perceive our reality. When you encounter an obstacle, the mind immediately reacts by labeling it as a problem. It begins to assign meaning to the situation, often based on past experiences, fears, or limiting beliefs. For example, if you have a deeply ingrained belief that you are not worthy of success, any challenge that arises in your pursuit of a goal will be magnified in your mind. You will view it as confirmation of your unworthiness, and this perception will make the problem seem larger and more insurmountable than it actually is. In reality, the problem is not the external situation itself, it is the way your mind interprets and reacts to it. A problem only exists because your mind has decided that something is wrong, something needs to be fixed or changed. But the moment you change your perception, the problem loses its power. What once seemed like an overwhelming obstacle becomes an opportunity for growth, learning, or self-discovery. One of the reasons problems seem so persistent is because of the mental energy we give them. The more you focus on a problem, the more real and solid it becomes in your mind. The mind begins to feed on the problem, turning it over and over, analyzing it from every angle, trying to figure out a solution. But often this only serves to strengthen the problem's hold on you. You become entangled in it, identifying with it, until it feels like an inescapable part of your reality. However, this is just a mental illusion. The problem exists because your mind has chosen to see it as such. You have the power to shift your perception and see it differently. Instead of focusing on the problem, you can turn your attention to the underlying thoughts and beliefs that created it in the first place. Ask yourself, what belief is causing me to see this as a problem? What thoughts are feeding this situation? By bringing awareness to the mental and emotional patterns behind the problem, you can begin to dissolve it at its source. Many of the problems we face are actually projections of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These are the real obstacles that shape our external reality. When we allow fear to take control of our thoughts, we automatically begin to see problems everywhere. The mind, conditioned by fear, becomes hyper-focused on what could go wrong, what is lacking, or what is threatening. This fearful mindset is what creates the sense of limitation and difficulty in our lives. By recognizing that problems are creations of the mind, you can begin to take back your power. Instead of being a passive victim of circumstances, you become an active creator of your reality. You realize that the power to change your life does not lie in fixing or controlling the external world, but in transforming your inner world. When you shift your mindset, when you stop seeing problems as something outside of you and start addressing the thoughts and emotions within, you will find that the external challenges either disappear or resolve themselves effortlessly. The next time you face what seems like a problem, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this truly a problem, or is it my mind's interpretation of the situation? What underlying beliefs are shaping my perception of this challenge? Often, simply by asking these questions, you will begin to see the situation in a new light. What once seemed like a problem will no longer have the same emotional charge, and you will find yourself approaching it with a sense of clarity and empowerment. The creation of problems is, in essence, the mind's way of maintaining control. The mind loves to categorize, label, and organize experiences, and in doing so, it often creates unnecessary tension and struggle. But once you understand that problems are not real in the way you once believed, you free yourself from the need to constantly fix or solve them. You realize that the only true solution is within yourself, in shifting your perception and aligning your thoughts with peace, abundance, and possibility. Ultimately, the realization that problems are creations of the mind offers profound freedom. You are no longer bound by the circumstances of the outer world, reacting to every challenge as if it is an unchangeable fact. Instead, you recognize that by changing your thoughts, you change the way you experience life. The mind is incredibly powerful, and when you master the ability to shift your focus from problems to solutions, you step into a new level of personal freedom and empowerment. You become the creator of your reality, shaping it from within rather than being shaped by the external world. The solution to any problem lies in transforming your inner state, not in trying to manipulate or change the outer circumstances. When faced with difficulties, the natural instinct is to focus on external solutions, finding ways to fix what seems broken in the world around you. This is the approach most people take. They look outside of themselves for answers, whether in the form of other people, circumstances, or material changes. However, this approach often leads to frustration because it overlooks the root cause of the problem, which is always internal. Your external world is a reflection of your inner world. What you experience in your life is shaped by your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Therefore, trying to change the outer world without addressing the internal cause is like trying to change the reflection in a mirror without adjusting what's in front of it. The image in the mirror won't change unless the source of the reflection changes first. In the same way, your external challenges will persist unless you shift your inner state. When you are confronted with a problem, rather than reacting to it and trying to fix it externally, the first step should be to pause and examine your internal state. Ask yourself what thoughts and beliefs are contributing to this situation. How am I feeling emotionally in response to this challenge? These questions help you turn inward and identify the mental and emotional patterns that are creating the external issue. For example, if you are struggling with a financial problem, instead of immediately looking for ways to earn more money or cut expenses, it may be more beneficial to reflect on your beliefs about abundance and scarcity. Are you holding on to a belief that there is never enough? Do you constantly worry about losing what you have? These inner beliefs, rooted in fear and lack, create a vibrational state that attracts financial struggles into your life. The outer problem is a reflection of the inner state of scarcity. To solve the problem, you must first transform your belief system and cultivate a mindset of abundance. The same principle applies to relationships. If you are experiencing conflict with someone, the issue is not the other person's behavior or the circumstances of the relationship. The true solution lies in examining your own thoughts and feelings. Are you holding on to resentment, anger, or insecurity? Do you believe that you are not worthy of love or respect? These internal states create the external experience of conflict. Once you release those negative emotions and shift to a state of love, forgiveness, and self-worth, the relationship will begin to change. It may even resolve itself without you needing to take any direct action. Transforming your inner state requires self-awareness and a willingness to let go of limiting beliefs and negative emotions. It involves shifting your focus from the external problem to your internal experience, recognizing that your emotions and thoughts are the true source of your reality. When you make this shift, you open the door to profound changes in your outer world. What once seemed like an insurmountable problem begins to dissolve, not because the external circumstances necessarily change, but because your perception of them shifts. You no longer see the situation as a problem. Instead, you see it as an opportunity for growth and transformation. This process of inner transformation is not about ignoring external challenges or pretending they don't exist. It's about recognizing that the power to change your life comes from within. You are not at the mercy of external circumstances, nor are you powerless to effect change. In fact, the more you align with your true inner power, the more effortlessly the outer world responds. Problems that once seemed overwhelming become manageable, and solutions appear as if by magic. One of the most important aspects of transforming your inner state is learning to control your focus. Where you direct your attention is where your energy flows. If you focus on the problem, you give it more energy, making it feel bigger and more real in your experience. But if you shift your focus to the solution, or even better, to the feeling of already having the solution, you change your internal state. When you feel as if the problem is already resolved, you align yourself with a new reality, one in which the problem no longer exists. The external world, which mirrors your inner state, will begin to reflect this new reality. Another key to transforming your inner state is cultivating positive emotions. Emotions are the language of the subconscious mind, and they have a powerful influence on your external reality. When you feel emotions like joy, gratitude, love, and peace, you raise your vibration and attract experiences that match those emotions. Even if the external situation hasn't changed yet, shifting into a state of gratitude or joy immediately alters your perception of the problem. It no longer feels as heavy or insurmountable, and solutions begin to emerge more easily. On the other hand, if you remain in a state of fear, worry, or frustration, you are feeding the problem with negative energy. These emotions keep you stuck in a cycle of reacting to the external world, reinforcing the very challenges you are trying to escape. The key is to break this cycle by consciously choosing to feel good, even when the outer circumstances seem challenging. When you do this, you take control of your inner state and, by extension, your outer reality. Transforming your inner state is a practice that requires patience and persistence. It's not always easy to let go of deeply ingrained beliefs or to shift from negative emotions to positive ones. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Over time, you will notice that your outer world begins to reflect the changes you've made within. Problems that once dominated your experience will begin to fade away, replaced by a sense of peace, clarity, and empowerment. The true solution to all problems lies within you. When you transform your inner state, you change the energy you emit into the world, and the world responds in kind. This is the power you hold as a creator of your reality. Visualizing the desired outcome is one of the most powerful tools you possess to create the reality you want. It's not merely about daydreaming or wishing for things to be different. It's about engaging the mind in a deliberate and focused way to bring your desires into manifestation. When you visualize, you create a mental image of the outcome you want to experience. This image becomes the blueprint for your external reality, and with consistent focus, you begin to draw this experience into your life. Visualization works because the mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. When you visualize something vividly enough, your subconscious mind accepts it as true. Your emotions, thoughts, and actions begin to align with the mental picture you've created, and over time, your outer world reshapes itself to reflect this inner vision. This process is not magic or coincidence, it is the natural law of creation, where thought precedes form. To harness the full power of visualization, it's important to understand that the key lies in detail and emotion. A vague or half-hearted vision will not generate the same results as a clear, vibrant, and emotionally charged one. When you visualize, you must engage all your senses, making the image in your mind as real as possible. Picture the desired outcome in vivid color and sharp detail. If you are visualizing a specific event, imagine yourself in that situation, seeing what you would see, hearing what you would hear, and feeling the emotions that would accompany the experience. The more real you can make the image in your mind, the more powerfully you communicate this desire to your subconscious mind. For example, if you desire financial abundance, don't just imagine a pile of money. Visualize yourself living the life of abundance that the money would bring. See yourself in the home of your dreams, feeling the joy and security that come with financial freedom. Picture yourself traveling, investing, or sharing your wealth with loved ones. The clearer and more emotionally compelling your vision, the more effectively you plant the seed in your subconscious mind. Another crucial aspect of visualization is to imagine the end result, not the process of getting there. Many people make the mistake of focusing on the steps or actions they think are necessary to achieve their goal. But this limits the infinite possibilities of how the universe can bring your desire to fruition. Instead of visualizing how you will solve a problem or achieve a goal, skip directly to the outcome. Imagine the situation as if it's already resolved, and you are already living in the desired reality. For instance, if you are visualizing improved health, don't focus on treatments or medical procedures. Instead, see yourself as already vibrant, strong, and healthy. Feel the energy coursing through your body and the joy of being in perfect health. When you visualize the end result, you send a clear message to your subconscious mind that this is the reality you wish to experience, and the mind begins to work towards that vision. One of the most important components of visualization is the emotion you attach to it. Thoughts are the blueprint, but emotions are the fuel. Your feelings give power to the mental image, amplifying its influence on your subconscious mind. As you visualize, make sure you feel the emotions associated with the outcome you desire. If you are visualizing success, feel the excitement, pride, and satisfaction of achieving your goal. If you are visualizing a harmonious relationship, feel the love, joy, and connection that come with that experience. The stronger the emotion you can generate, the faster and more effectively your visualization will manifest. Visualization also requires consistency. It's not enough to visualize once and then forget about it. Like planting a seed, your visualization needs regular attention and care. Each time you visualize, you reinforce the mental image, making it stronger and more real in your subconscious mind. This doesn't mean you need to spend hours every day visualizing, but consistent, focused sessions of a few minutes can create powerful shifts in your inner state and eventually your outer reality. However, one common pitfall people face is visualizing from a place of lack or desperation. If you are visualizing because you are desperate to escape a current situation, you may inadvertently strengthen the feeling of lack. For example, if you are visualizing financial abundance but in the back of your mind, you are fixated on how broke you feel, your focus on scarcity will hinder the manifestation of abundance. It's essential to approach visualization from a place of already having what you desire. When you visualize, feel as if your desire has already been fulfilled and experience the joy and satisfaction that comes with it. This mindset aligns you with the reality you want to create, rather than reinforcing the lack of it. Visualization also goes hand in hand with belief. You must believe that what you are visualizing is possible for you. Doubt and disbelief weaken the power of your visualization. If deep down you don't believe that your desired outcome can manifest, your subconscious mind will pick up on that, and it will be much harder to bring your vision into reality. To counter this, you may need to work on strengthening your belief system by affirming to yourself that you are worthy of achieving your desires and that the universe is capable of delivering them. Another factor that enhances the power of visualization is detachment. After visualizing, it's important to release attachment to the outcome and trust that the universe is working on your behalf. This doesn't mean giving up on your desires, but rather letting go of the need to control how or when they will manifest. When you trust the process and remain open to unexpected opportunities, you allow the universe to work in ways that you might not have anticipated. Often the path to your desired outcome will unfold in ways that are better than what you could have imagined. In summary, visualizing the desired outcome is a practice of shaping your inner world to reflect the reality you want to experience. By engaging the mind in vivid, emotionally charged images, you align your thoughts and emotions with your desires. Through consistent practice, you plant these desires in your subconscious mind, where they take root and begin to manifest in your outer world. The more you visualize with clarity, belief, and detachment, the more powerful this process becomes, allowing you to create the life you truly desire. Belief in the outcome is an essential element when it comes to transforming your reality. What you believe, you eventually become. Your beliefs are the foundation of your life experiences, shaping how you perceive the world, how you act, and ultimately what you attract into your life. No matter how hard you work or how much effort you put into trying to change your circumstances, if you don't truly believe in the possibility of your desired outcome, you will find yourself spinning in circles. Your belief system is like the soil in which the seeds of your desires are planted. If the soil is infertile or filled with doubt and fear, those seeds will struggle to grow. But if the soil is rich with faith and certainty, your desires will flourish. The power of belief works because it communicates directly with your subconscious mind, the part of you responsible for creating your experiences. The subconscious mind doesn't question or rationalize, it simply accepts whatever it's told as truth. If you tell it, through your consistent thoughts and emotions, that something is impossible, it will create a reality in which that impossibility becomes your experience. Conversely, if you consistently affirm and truly believe that something is possible, the subconscious mind will move mountains to make that belief a reality. This is why belief is not just important, but crucial in the manifestation process. Belief is not merely wishful thinking. It's not about hoping or wanting something to happen. Belief is the inner conviction that something already is. It's knowing deep down in your core that your desired outcome is inevitable, even if you can't yet see evidence of it in the physical world. This kind of belief requires you to transcend the limitations of logic and reason. It asks you to trust in the unseen, to have faith in the process of creation, even when your outer circumstances suggest otherwise. One of the reasons belief is so powerful is that it directly influences your actions. When you believe something is possible, you naturally begin to take actions that align with that belief. If you believe that you are capable of achieving success in your career, for example, you will approach your work with confidence, determination, and creativity. You will seize opportunities, overcome challenges, and persist in the face of obstacles. On the other hand, if you believe that success is out of reach for you, your actions will reflect that belief as well. You may hold back, second-guess yourself, or avoid taking risks altogether. Your belief in the outcome dictates how you show up in the world. But belief goes beyond just shaping your actions. It also affects the energy you emit into the universe. The universe operates on the principle of vibration like attracts like. When you hold a strong belief in a positive outcome, you radiate a high-frequency vibration that attracts experiences, people, and opportunities that match that frequency. This is why those who have unwavering faith in their goals often seem to get lucky, or have things fall into place for them effortlessly. Their belief is so strong that they magnetize the right circumstances to support their desires. On the other hand, when you hold doubts, fears, or limiting beliefs, you emit a lower vibration. This vibration repels the very things you desire, and attracts more of the situations and experiences that match your negative belief system. If you believe that you are unworthy of love, for instance, you may attract relationships that reinforce that belief. You may find yourself in situations where you feel rejected, undervalued, or unappreciated. It's not that the world is out to get you, but rather that your belief is creating a reality that mirrors your inner state. Belief in the outcome also has the power to dissolve obstacles. Often we view challenges as barriers that stand in the way of our desires. But in truth, these obstacles are only as real as the belief that supports them. When you believe that something is difficult or impossible, you give power to that difficulty. Your mind focuses on the obstacles, magnifying them and making them seem insurmountable. But when you shift your belief and start to see the outcome as inevitable, those obstacles begin to lose their power. They either fade away or transform into stepping stones that help you grow and move forward. To strengthen your belief in the outcome, it's important to feed your mind with thoughts and ideas that support your desired reality. This may involve affirmations, visualization, or surrounding yourself with people who inspire and uplift you. It's also essential to question and release any limiting beliefs that may be holding you back. Often these limiting beliefs are buried deep in the subconscious mind, formed in early childhood or through past experiences. They may manifest as thoughts like, "I'm not good enough, success is for other people, not me," or "things never work out for me." These beliefs can sabotage your efforts without you even realizing it. One way to uncover limiting beliefs is to pay attention to how you feel when you think about your desires. Do you feel excitement and possibility, or do you feel fear, doubt, and anxiety? If it's the latter, it's likely that there are underlying beliefs that need to be addressed. Once you identify these limiting beliefs, you can begin to challenge them and replace them with empowering beliefs that support your desired outcome. For example, if you've been carrying the belief that you're not worthy of success, you might replace that with the belief, "I am deserving of all the success and abundance that life has to offer." This new belief, when repeated consistently and reinforced through positive action, will begin to take root in your subconscious mind, gradually replacing the old, limiting belief. Over time, you'll notice that your external reality starts to reflect this new belief as opportunities, resources, and support flow into your life. Another way to strengthen your belief is to act as if your desired outcome has already happened. This is a powerful technique that signals to your subconscious mind that the desired reality is already yours. When you act as if you've already achieved your goal, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that reality. This creates a vibrational match between your inner state and the external reality you wish to experience. For example, if you desire financial abundance, start acting like someone who already has financial freedom. This doesn't mean being reckless or irresponsible, but rather cultivating the mindset, habits, and emotions of someone who is financially abundant. When you align your actions with your belief, you accelerate the manifestation process. In the end, belief in the outcome is the cornerstone of creation. It is the unseen force that drives your thoughts, emotions, and actions, shaping your reality from the inside out. When you truly believe in the possibility of your desired outcome, you tap into an unlimited source of power that can transform your life. Living in the present moment is one of the most profound teachings that can transform your life. It is in the present moment that all power resides. The past is gone, and the future has not yet arrived. The only time you can truly act, change, or make decisions is in the now. Yet many people spend their lives either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, and as a result, they miss the opportunities and gifts that the present moment offers. When you live in the present, you connect with the flow of life itself. You become attuned to the natural rhythms of the universe, and your awareness expands beyond the limitations of time and space. You are no longer burdened by regrets of the past or fears about what might happen in the future. Instead, you experience life as it unfolds, moment by moment, with clarity and peace. This is where true power lies. Being fully immersed in the now allows you to tap into your creative potential and make choices from a place of presence and awareness. The mind, by its nature, tends to wander into the past and future, It replays old memories, regrets, or grievances and projects fears and anxieties about what may come. This mental chatter keeps you stuck in a cycle of distraction, preventing you from fully experiencing life as it is happening. However, when you consciously bring your awareness back to the present moment, you begin to quiet the mind. You start to break free from the mental patterns that keep you trapped in suffering or worry. One way to cultivate present moment awareness is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. It involves becoming an observer of your inner world, rather than being caught up in the narrative of your mind. By practicing mindfulness, you can begin to recognize when your mind is drifting into the past or future and gently guide it back to the present. This can be as simple as focusing on your breath, noticing the sensations in your body, or observing the sights and sounds around you. As you practice mindfulness, you will find that the present moment is always enough. There is no need to escape into the past or future because everything you need is available to you right now. Even in challenging or difficult situations, there is a sense of peace that comes from being fully present. You realize that you have the power to choose how you respond to life's circumstances, rather than reacting out of fear or habit. This allows you to approach challenges with a clear mind and an open heart, making decisions that are aligned with your highest good. Living in the present moment also allows you to experience life more fully. When you are present, you notice the beauty in everyday moments that you might otherwise overlook. You become more connected to the people around you, to nature, and to the simple joys of life. Whether it's enjoying a meal, having a conversation, or taking a walk, being present enhances your experience and deepens your appreciation for life. Furthermore, the present moment is where your creative power exists. All manifestation happens in the now. When you focus your attention on what you want to create in this moment, rather than worrying about how things will unfold in the future, you allow your desires to come into alignment with the flow of life. This doesn't mean ignoring the future, but rather trusting that by being fully present, you are laying the foundation for the future you desire. You take inspired action from a place of presence, knowing that each moment is a stepping stone toward your larger goals. One of the reasons people struggle with living in the present moment is the fear of uncertainty. The mind craves control and predictability, and it often resists the unknown. However, the present moment is always uncertain. It is constantly changing and evolving. To live in the now requires surrendering to that uncertainty and trusting that life will unfold exactly as it should. This can be a liberating realization because it frees you from the need to control everything. You begin to trust the process of life, understanding that things will work out in their own time and in the best possible way. Surrendering to the present moment also allows you to let go of the need for external validation or approval. When you are fully present, you are no longer concerned with how others perceive you or whether you are living up to societal expectations. Instead, you are focused on your own experience, your own journey, and your own truth. This creates a sense of inner freedom and empowerment because you are no longer living for others but for yourself. You are able to follow your intuition and make decisions that align with your highest purpose without being influenced by the opinions or judgments of others. Another benefit of living in the present moment is that it reduces stress and anxiety. Much of the stress people experience comes from worrying about the future or regretting the past. When you bring your focus back to the now, you realize that in this moment everything is okay. Even if you are facing challenges, you have the inner resources to handle them one step at a time. The present moment provides you with a sense of calm and centeredness that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. Living in the present also enhances your relationships. When you are fully present with others, you listen more deeply, connect more authentically, and engage more meaningfully. You are not distracted by your own thoughts or concerns, but instead you are truly there with the other person. This creates deeper bonds and fosters a greater sense of understanding and compassion. Whether it's with a loved one, a friend, or a stranger, being present allows you to show up fully in your relationships, making them more fulfilling and enriching. In addition, living in the now fosters gratitude. When you are present, you naturally become more aware of the abundance in your life. You start to appreciate the small things, the warmth of the sun, the taste of your food, the laughter of a loved one. Gratitude is a powerful state of being because it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. And as you cultivate gratitude in the present moment, you attract more of what you appreciate into your life. This creates a positive feedback loop where the more present and grateful you are, the more abundance and joy you experience. Ultimately, living in the present moment is about fully embracing life as it is. It's about letting go of the past, releasing worry about the future, and choosing to be fully engaged in the now. This doesn't mean that you ignore your goals or stop planning for the future, but rather that you approach life with a sense of trust, openness, and presence. By living in the now, you tap into a deep well of inner peace, creativity, and power that allows you to navigate life with ease and grace, creating the reality you desire one moment at a time. The concept of embodying your future self is a transformative practice that shifts the way you approach life and manifest your desires. It is rooted in the understanding that your external reality mirrors your internal state. In other words, the version of yourself that you consistently imagine, feel, and act upon today is the one that will manifest in your future. To create the life you desire, you must begin to embody the qualities, emotions, and behaviors of the person you wish to become. This is not a process of waiting for external circumstances to change before you shift your mindset, rather. It is about stepping into the role of your future self now, even before the evidence shows up. Embodying your future self requires you to develop a clear vision of who you want to be and what you want to achieve. This vision becomes your guide, your template for transformation. Take some time to visualize your ideal self in vivid detail. What do they look like? How do they carry themselves? What habits, beliefs, and emotions define them? What kind of life are they living? The more specific and detailed you can be, the easier it becomes to align your present actions and thoughts with this future version of yourself. This visualization is not a mere fantasy or daydream, but a blueprint for the life you are actively creating. Once you have a clear image of your future self, the next step is to begin embodying that version of you in your daily life. This means adopting the mindset and behaviors of the person you want to become, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. For instance, if your future self is someone who is confident, financially successful, and healthy, you can start by making decisions and taking actions that reflect these qualities. How would a confident person approach challenges? How would someone who is financially successful manage their money and time? How would a healthy person take care of their body and well-being? By answering these questions and acting accordingly, you are bringing the energy of your future self into the present. This process of embodiment also involves aligning your emotions with your desired future. The way you feel on a daily basis has a profound impact on what you attract into your life. If you constantly feel stressed, anxious, or doubtful, you are reinforcing a reality that reflects those emotions. On the other hand, if you can tap into the feelings of joy, gratitude, abundance, and confidence that your future self embodies, you are signaling to the universe that you are already living in alignment with your desires. Your emotions act as a magnet, attracting experiences that match the energy you are putting out. It's important to recognize that embodying your future self is not about pretending or faking it. It's about genuinely stepping into a new state of being. This shift may feel uncomfortable at first, because your current reality might not yet reflect the person you are becoming. However, by consistently showing up as your future self, you begin to break free from the limitations of your past and create a new reality. The key is persistence and faith. You must trust that the changes you are making internally will eventually be reflected in your external world. One of the most powerful aspects of embodying your future self is the way it changes your mindset and decision-making. When you act from the perspective of your future self, you are more likely to make choices that are aligned with your long-term goals and desires, rather than being swayed by short-term temptations or fears. You begin to think, speak, and act from a place of empowerment, rather than reacting to your current circumstances. This shift in mindset allows you to navigate challenges with greater resilience and creativity, because you are operating from a higher level of awareness. As you continue to embody your future self, you will start to notice subtle shifts in your reality. Opportunities may arise that weren't there before. People may respond to you differently. You may find that you are more motivated, focused, and inspired. These changes are the result of your internal alignment with the version of yourself that you are becoming. The more you commit to this process, the more your external reality will begin to mirror your internal transformation. Embodying your future self is not just about reaching a destination or achieving a specific goal. It's about living in alignment with your highest potential every day. It's about recognizing that you have the power to create your reality from the inside out, and that the version of yourself you aspire to be already exists within you. By embodying that version of yourself now, you are actively shaping your future and stepping into the life you truly desire. In conclusion, The power to solve all your problems lies within you, and the key is aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you desire. By recognizing that your external world is a reflection of your inner state, and that the present moment holds the creative force to shape your future, you can step into a life of abundance, peace, and fulfillment. The teachings shared invite you to see beyond your current limitations, to embody your future self now, and to live with the confidence that you are the architect of your destiny. Every moment offers you the opportunity to create anew, and by embracing this truth, you unlock the solution to every challenge and open the door to a life beyond your wildest dreams. Trust the process, embody your highest vision, and watch as your reality transforms in ways that far exceed your expectations. End the quiet moments of life. When the storms seem relentless and the weight of the world rests heavy upon our shoulders, we are often reminded of a profound truth that exists beyond the material realm. This truth, found in the depths of our being, speaks to us of a divine presence, a force far greater than any earthly circumstance. Romans 8, a passage that echoes through the corridors of time, serves as a powerful reminder of this presence and its unwavering commitment to handle every situation that comes our way. In these verses, we are invited to rise above our human limitations, to glimpse the eternal power that lies within us. The Apostle Paul, in his timeless words, encourages us to understand that nothing, absolutely nothing, can separate us from the love and power of God. The challenges we face in life are not the final word, they are but moments in a grand unfolding of a divine purpose that transcends our understanding. When we speak of God handling our situation, it is important to recognize that this is not merely a distant or abstract concept. It is a reality that we can tap into at any moment. It is not a matter of waiting for a distant future or hoping for something to happen. It is a matter of aligning ourselves with the eternal law that governs all things. This law, the law of faith, the law of love, is always at work, operating within us and through us, guiding every step of our journey. Paul's words remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. We are not meant to carry our burdens in isolation, to wrestle with our fears and doubts without assistance. No, there is a divine presence that stands with us, a presence that is constantly working behind the scenes to bring about our good. Even when we cannot see the way forward, even when the path appears obscured by the fog of uncertainty, God's plan is unfolding perfectly. This divine presence does not come from outside of us, it comes from within. The kingdom of God is not a distant place, it is a place of consciousness, a place where we recognize the power that dwells in our very being. This power is what will handle every situation in our lives, whether it be health challenges, financial struggles, relationship difficulties, or anything else that causes us to feel fear or doubt. The answer is not in the world outside, it is in the world within. When we truly understand this, we begin to see the world differently. We realize that every circumstance, every challenge is an opportunity for growth, for transformation, for the revealing of this divine presence. It is in the darkest moments that we are often closest to the truth of who we are. Just as a seed must be buried in the darkness of the earth before it can sprout and grow, so too must we sometimes face our deepest fears and challenges before the full measure of our potential can be revealed. The key is not to resist the challenges that life presents, but to recognize them as part of the process. They are the very instruments that God uses to bring about transformation in our lives. When we resist, we push against the flow of divine order. But when we surrender, when we let go of our attachment to outcomes and trust in the process, we align ourselves with the divine will. This is when the miracle happens. This is when we begin to see the manifestation of our desires and the resolution of our challenges. In Romans 8, Paul speaks of the groaning of creation, waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. This is a powerful image. The entire creation is in a state of anticipation, waiting for us to step into our true power, to recognize the divine potential that resides within us. And what is this power? It is the power to create, to heal, to transform. It is the power to speak the word and watch as it takes shape in the physical realm. But to tap into this power, we must first believe in it. We must believe that the circumstances we face are not random or accidental, they are part of a grand design, a divine plan that is unfolding perfectly. We must believe that the divine is always at work in our lives, whether we see it or not, whether we understand it or not. And as we believe, we align ourselves with this divine power, and it begins to handle our situation in ways that go beyond our imagination. The challenge for many is the temptation to look outside of ourselves for the solution. We are taught from an early age that our success and happiness depend on external circumstances, on the approval of others, on the material possessions we acquire, on the validation we receive from the world. But the truth is that none of these things can ever bring us lasting fulfillment. True fulfillment comes from within, from the recognition of the divine presence that resides in us all. This is why Paul emphasizes that those who are led by the Spirit are the true children of God. It is not about following external rules or striving to meet the expectations of the world. It is about being in tune with the inner voice, the voice of the Spirit, that guides us toward our highest good. This voice speaks to us in the stillness, in the quiet moments when we are open to receive its guidance. It is a voice of love, of peace, and of power. And when we listen to it, when we follow its lead, we find that our situations begin to change. Romans 8 also speaks of the fact that all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose. This is a profound statement. It is not just a hopeful sentiment. It is a law, a truth that governs the universe. Everything, absolutely everything, works together for good. The challenges, the setbacks, the moments of doubt, they are all part of the plan. And when we trust in this plan, when we believe that all is well, we begin to see the good that is hidden in every situation. There is a deep peace that comes from this understanding. It is a peace that transcends the circumstances of our lives. It is a peace that comes from knowing that we are not alone, that we are never truly separated from the divine presence. Even when the world around us seems chaotic, we can find peace within. And this peace is the foundation for the manifestation of our desires. When we are at peace, when we are centered in the divine, the universe responds to us in kind. We attract the people, the circumstances, and the opportunities that will bring our desires into being. The process is not always immediate. There may be moments of doubt, moments when we wonder if the divine is really handling our situation. But in those moments, we must remember that God's timing is perfect. We must trust that the process is unfolding exactly as it should, and that every step we take is a step closer to the fulfillment of our desires. Our role is not to control the outcome, but to stay aligned with the divine, to keep our thoughts and emotions in harmony with the good that is already on its way. As we continue to walk in faith, we find that our circumstances begin to shift. Our challenges begin to dissolve. What once seemed impossible becomes possible. And this is the beauty of Romans 8. It is not just a passage of comfort, it is a passage of empowerment. It reminds us that we are co-creators with the divine, that we have the power to shape our reality through our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions. The key, as Paul teaches, is to be led by the Spirit. When we are in tune with the divine within, when we listen to that still, small voice that guides us, we are able to navigate the challenges of life with grace and ease. We are no longer slaves to circumstance, we are masters of our own fate. We become the architects of our own reality, and we watch as the universe conspires in our favor. The message of Romans 8 is simple but profound. God will handle your situation. You do not need to fear. You do not need to worry. All you need to do is trust, believe, and align yourself with the divine. As you do, you will find that everything you need will be provided. You will find that your desires are already on their way. You will find that the universe is not against you, but is working with you, guiding you, and supporting you in every moment. As we continue to walk the path laid before us, it is essential to understand that the universe does not operate in a vacuum. Every moment, every circumstance is interconnected with the greater flow of life that is guided by divine intelligence. When we embrace this truth, we realize that our personal challenges are not isolated incidents, but part of a grand design that serves to reveal the fullness of our potential. It is through the trials and tribulations that we often experience the greatest growth. The key lies in how we perceive these challenges and the belief system we hold in our hearts. Romans 8 speaks to us not as passive observers but as active participants in this divine plan. We are not here by chance or circumstance. We are here because we have been called according to a higher purpose, a purpose that exists far beyond the limitations of our physical senses. The struggles that we encounter are not there to defeat us, but to teach us, to shape us into the individuals we were always meant to be. And as we grow and evolve, we come to realize that God is not distant, far away, or detached from our experience. God is within, always present, always active, always working in us, and through us to bring about our highest good. When we truly recognize that the divine is actively involved in our lives, we release the burden of trying to figure everything out on our own. So often we exhaust ourselves by attempting to control every outcome, to micromanage every detail, to anticipate every twist and turn in the journey. But in Romans 8, we are reminded that we do not need to bear this burden alone. We do not need to strive in our own strength or labor under the illusion of self-sufficiency. Instead, we are called to surrender, to release our grip on the need for control and trust that God, working within us, will guide us toward the highest good. The Apostles' words to us are clear: all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to His purpose. This is not a vague promise or a wishful statement. It is a declaration of divine law. The entire universe is working in harmony to bring forth our good. And though we may not always see it in the moment, the divine is orchestrating every event, every encounter, every experience in such a way that it serves our growth and ultimate fulfillment. The very fact that we face challenges is evidence that we are being prepared for something greater. Challenges are not to be feared. They are the crucible through which we are refined, strengthened, and prepared to step into our next level of potential. The world often teaches us to fear uncertainty, to resist the unknown, to cling to the familiar. But God does not work in the realm of the known and the predictable. Divine power operates in the mysterious and the unseen, in the spaces where we are forced to trust, to believe, and to surrender. This is where the greatest miracles happen, not in the moments of certainty, but in the moments of faith, when we are willing to let go of the illusion of control and trust that all is working for our highest good. As we let go of our need to control and direct every aspect of our lives, we make room for the divine flow to move through us. When we allow ourselves to rest in the knowledge that God will handle our situation, we tap into a power that far exceeds anything we could accomplish on our own. The divine within us knows what we need and when we need it. It knows the paths we should take, the people we should meet, and the experiences that will best shape us into the individuals we are becoming. This trust, this belief, is not blind. It is not a passive resignation to fate. Instead, it is a confident assurance that all is working according to a divine order. It is a recognition that the very challenges we face are the means by which the divine brings us closer to the realization of our potential. It is through the tension, the resistance, the uncertainty, that we come to understand the true nature of who we are and the power that lies within us. When we align ourselves with the divine order, when we choose to trust that God is actively working within us, we shift our perspective. We begin to see every challenge not as an obstacle to our progress, but as a stepping stone to our growth. We begin to recognize that the very things that we once feared are the very things that are shaping us into the individuals we are meant to become. And as we begin to trust this process, we find that things start to fall into place. Our situations begin to change. Our desires are met. Our path becomes clearer. But this process is not always immediate. There may be moments of doubt, moments when we question whether God is really handling our situation. There may be times when it seems as though the challenges only increase, when the path forward seems clouded with uncertainty. But in these moments, it is crucial to hold fast to the truth: God is always at work. Even when we cannot see it, even when we cannot feel it, the divine is guiding us. The law of divine order is always in operation, and everything, absolutely everything, is working together for our good. The reason we sometimes feel doubt or confusion is because our senses are trained to look only at the material world. We tend to judge our circumstances by what we see, hear, and experience in the physical realm. But the truth is that the spiritual realm, the realm of the unseen, is the realm of creation. Everything that exists in the physical world was first created in the spiritual realm. It is from this realm that all things flow. When we recognize this, we stop measuring our circumstances by what we see and start aligning ourselves with the truth that exists beyond the physical world. Romans 8 teaches us that nothing in the seen world, nothing in our material circumstances, nothing in our past or present experiences can separate us from the love of God. This love is a force far greater than we can comprehend, and it is always working on our behalf. This love does not operate according to the limitations of time or space. It operates in a realm that transcends our understanding, and it is always bringing us into alignment with the highest good. It works through us, in us, and for us, often in ways that are beyond our immediate comprehension. In order to fully tap into this divine power, we must cultivate an awareness of its presence. We must learn to listen to that still, small voice within that guides us, that reassures us, that speaks to us in the quiet moments when we are open to receive. The more we listen to this voice, the more we align ourselves with the divine flow. And the more we align ourselves with this flow, the more we find that our lives begin to transform in ways we could never have predicted. The truth is that God will always handle our situation if we allow Him to. This does not mean that we become passive or inactive. It means that we stop trying to control every outcome and instead trust that the divine order is already at work in us. It means that we become co-creators with the divine, choosing to act in faith, to move in alignment with the highest good, and to trust that every step we take is part of the greater unfolding of our purpose. When we believe that God is handling our situation, we begin to see the world differently. We stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstance and start seeing ourselves as active participants in the divine drama of life. We understand that every situation, no matter how challenging, is an opportunity for growth, for transformation, and for the realization of our true potential. As we continue to trust in this divine process, we realize that our lives are not defined by the circumstances we face, but by how we respond to those circumstances. We are not victims of our situations, we are the creators of our experiences. And when we recognize this, we step into our power. We become the masters of our destiny, the co-creators of our reality, and we begin to experience the fullness of the divine plan that has been unfolding all along. So when the storms of life come, and they will come, remember that you are never alone. You are never separated from the divine presence. God is always with you, always guiding you, always handling your situation in ways that go beyond your understanding. Trust in this truth, believe in the divine order, and watch as your life transforms in miraculous ways. Because as Romans 8 teaches, nothing can separate you from the love of God, and with this love, all things are possible. It's easy when faced with uncertainty to succumb to the temptation to believe that we are alone in our struggles, that we are navigating the world by our own strength. This perception is rooted in the limited understanding of the self as separate from the divine. However, Romans 8 reminds us that we are never isolated in our journey. We are not solitary beings fending for ourselves in a chaotic world. We are children of the divine, woven into the fabric of a perfect, harmonious universe that is always working for our highest good. It is this awareness that shifts everything in our lives. The more we internalize this truth, the more we come to understand that every moment, every circumstance is part of a larger orchestration, a symphony that is being conducted by a force far greater than ourselves. The divine does not act in the randomness that we sometimes perceive in the world. There is no chance, no coincidence. Every event, every encounter, every challenge is carefully timed and arranged to lead us toward the fulfillment of our divine purpose. If we could only see the entire picture the way the divine sees it, we would never question the process. We would never feel the need to rush or resist. We would trust fully in the journey, knowing that all is well, that God is handling our situation, even when things seem to be spiraling out of control. This is the key to peace, to surrender to the knowing that we are not the ones carrying the burden. We are not the ones responsible for making things happen. We are not the ones who need to figure out the how or the when. Our only role is to trust, to align ourselves with the divine, and to follow the guidance that comes from within. But what does this alignment look like in practical terms? It begins with faith, the belief that everything is working for your good, no matter what it looks like in the present moment. It's the unwavering confidence that the divine is present in every situation, even when circumstances seem contrary to what we desire. It's the inner knowing that what we see is not the final truth, that there is more happening beneath the surface than our senses can perceive. This type of faith requires a shift in perspective. It requires seeing beyond the physical, beyond the immediate reality that surrounds us. It means tuning into the voice within, the voice of intuition, and allowing it to guide us through the noise of the world. It means embracing the idea that we are not alone, that there is a divine intelligence at work in us and through us, guiding us every step of the way. When we trust in the divine orchestration of our lives, we cease to see ourselves as victims of our circumstances. We stop blaming others or external factors for the challenges we face. Instead, we begin to take responsibility for our role in the unfolding of our lives. We begin to see that our thoughts, our beliefs, and our emotions are all part of the co-creation process. When we align ourselves with the truth that all things are working together for our good, we start to realize that we are active participants in the manifestation of our reality. The beauty of Romans 8 is that it reminds us that we are not passive recipients of life's circumstances, but rather we are empowered co-creators of our experience. This power resides within us, and it is activated through our thoughts, words, and beliefs. We cannot change the past, but we have the ability to shift our present moment by shifting our perspective. We are not bound by the limitations of our past mistakes, our current circumstances, or the opinions of others. We are free to choose how we respond, to decide how we want to experience life. And as we choose to align ourselves with the truth that God is handling our situation, we begin to see the results in our lives. Things begin to change not because we are striving or forcing outcomes, but because we are allowing the divine to work through us. When we stop fighting against what is, when we stop resisting the flow of life, we open ourselves up to the miraculous. We create space for the divine to intervene, to step in, and to handle situations in ways we could never have imagined. This divine flow is not limited by time or space. It transcends the physical laws of the universe. What may seem impossible in the material world is effortlessly handled by the divine intelligence that governs all of existence. The very challenges that seem to block your path are the means by which the divine works through you to bring about your greatest good. Each obstacle, each delay is an opportunity for growth, an invitation to trust more deeply in the process, and to expand into a higher version of yourself. It is in these moments of uncertainty, of difficulty, that our faith is tested and strengthened. We are invited to release our grip on the physical world and trust in the unseen, the spiritual realm, where everything is already in divine order. So, this does not mean ignoring the physical reality, but it means recognizing that the physical world is a reflection of the inner world. As we cultivate inner peace, trust, and surrender, we shift the energy around us and create the space for divine solutions to emerge. One of the most profound aspects of Romans 8 is its assurance that nothing, absolutely nothing, can separate us from the love of God. This love is the most powerful force in the universe, and it is always at work in our lives. It does not matter what challenges we face, what setbacks we encounter, or how far we may seem to be from our desired outcome. The love of God is always with us, always guiding us, always making a way where there seems to be no way. When we truly internalize this truth, when we really understand that we are always held in the embrace of divine love, we become unstoppable. No matter what comes our way, we know that we are divinely supported. We know that the power of the divine is greater than any obstacle, greater than any challenge. And when we stand in this truth, we find that things begin to shift around us. We begin to see solutions where there were once problems. We begin to attract the people and circumstances that we need to fulfill our purpose. The power of surrender lies in the understanding that we are not alone, that the divine is always with us, and that our journey is being guided by a force far greater than ourselves. When we fully embrace this truth, we find that the tension we feel in our daily lives begins to ease. We are no longer weighed down by the pressure of trying to make things happen. We are no longer consumed by fear, doubt, or worry. We trust, knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly, and that God is handling our situation. As we move forward in life, it is essential to remember that we are never truly alone. We are divinely supported in every moment. The divine is always working in us and through us to bring about our highest good. When we align ourselves with this truth, we stop resisting the flow of life. We stop fighting against the current, and instead we move with it, trusting that it will carry us exactly where we need to go. And in those moments when the path seems unclear, when the way forward is not yet visible, we trust. We trust in the process, we trust in the divine intelligence that is guiding us, and we trust that all things are working together for our good. In this trust we find peace. In this peace we find power. And in this power we find the ability to move forward with confidence, knowing that God is handling our situation, and that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. As we delve deeper into the understanding of Romans 8, we realize that every step of our journey is a manifestation of divine will, unfolding perfectly as it should. This powerful truth invites us to let go of our need for control and to embrace the flow of life with complete trust. Trust is the key that unlocks the door to divine intervention. When we truly trust, we are no longer plagued by anxiety, fear, or doubt. We allow the divine to work through us, to handle our situations, and to guide us with infinite wisdom. It is easy to get caught up in the external world, the pressures, the demands, the expectations of others, and the constant need to do more, to be more. But Romans 8 challenges us to go beyond the surface level concerns and to focus on the internal alignment with our higher self. The strength to handle our circumstances does not lie in the physical world. It does not lie in the opinions of others, nor in the resources that we seem to lack. True strength comes from our alignment with the divine, from knowing that we are part of something far greater than ourselves. When we tune into this truth, we begin to see that the external world is simply a reflection of our inner state of being. When we feel overwhelmed or burdened, it is often because we are trying to control things that are beyond our control. We are holding on to fears, doubts, and worries, believing that we must somehow manage everything on our own. But when we release these burdens and hand them over to the divine, we open ourselves up to a miraculous shift. The divine is not bound by time or space. It operates outside of the limitations that we impose upon ourselves. When we allow ourselves to step into this truth, we can feel the weight of our worries lift, knowing that everything is already taken care of. Romans 8 teaches us that the divine will always provide, always make a way, and always work things out for our good. The law of divine order is always at work, and everything is unfolding according to a divine plan, even if we cannot yet see it. It's important to remember that faith is not blind belief, but a deep knowing that everything is working together for your highest good. Faith is the certainty that God is with you, guiding you, and orchestrating your life in a way that leads you to your ultimate purpose. It is in this knowing that we find peace. When we live from a place of trust, we begin to see the world with different eyes. We stop focusing on the problems and start focusing on the solutions. We stop being consumed by fear and start being energized by hope. In every circumstance, we find an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to trust more deeply, an opportunity to allow the divine to work in us and through us. It is in this space that miracles begin to happen, not as a result of our striving or effort, but as a result of our surrender to the divine flow. The challenges we face are not roadblocks but stepping stones, guiding us toward the fulfillment of our highest purpose. We are not meant to avoid challenges but to embrace them, knowing that they are opportunities for transformation. Every difficulty, every setback, is a chance to deepen our trust in the divine plan. When we face challenges with faith, We create space for the divine to step in and handle the situation. We stop trying to control everything and allow ourselves to be guided to the perfect solution. One of the most liberating aspects of Romans 8 is the assurance that God is with us through it all. We are never abandoned, never left to navigate our challenges alone. The divine presence is always with us, offering guidance, strength, and comfort. It is only when we forget this truth that we feel lost or helpless. But when we remember that we are never alone, when we embrace the truth that God is handling our situation, we find the strength to move forward with grace and confidence. This divine support is not limited to certain areas of our lives, but extends to every aspect of our being. It encompasses our health, our relationships, our finances, and our purpose. There is no area of our lives that is outside of the reach of divine guidance. When we learn to trust, we begin to see how the divine is working in every aspect of our lives, aligning everything perfectly for our highest good. We no longer need to worry or doubt, because we know that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Romans 8 speaks to the power of God's love, a love that is unwavering and unchanging, a love that transcends all obstacles. This love is the foundation of everything. It is the force that holds the universe together, and it is the force that holds our lives together. When we align ourselves with this love, we align ourselves with the very source of all creation. In this alignment, we find peace, clarity, and strength. We are no longer controlled by fear or doubt, but we are empowered by love, knowing that everything is working out for our good. In those moments when the way forward seems unclear, when the path ahead is shrouded in darkness, we are invited to trust. Trust that the divine is handling everything. Trust that the perfect solution is already in place. Trust that everything is unfolding according to divine timing. This trust is not passive, it is an active engagement with the divine, an active decision to surrender our limited understanding and embrace the wisdom that comes from a higher source. When we make this choice, we open ourselves to the miraculous. We create space for the divine to step in and handle our situation in ways that we could never have imagined. This is the power of surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up or giving in, it means letting go of the need to control and allowing the divine to take the reins. It means trusting that the divine knows what is best for us, even when we cannot see it. It means accepting that our human understanding is limited, but that the divine wisdom that guides us is infinite. When we make this choice, we step into a new level of power, a power that comes from alignment with the divine, not from our own efforts. Romans 8 teaches us that nothing can separate us from the love of God. No matter what challenges we face, no matter how dire our circumstances may seem, we are never separated from divine love. This love is always with us, always with us, always guiding us, always supporting us. It is this love that gives us the strength to face any challenge, to overcome any obstacle, and to move forward with confidence and trust. When we remember this truth, when we align ourselves with the divine love that is always present, we find that the struggles we face begin to lose their power over us. We no longer feel defeated by life's challenges. Instead, we see them as opportunities for growth, as invitations to trust more deeply, and as reminders of the divine support that is always available to us. With each step we take in faith, we move closer to the realization that everything is already taken care of, that the divine is handling our situation, and that all is well. And so we move forward with confidence, knowing that we are divinely supported, knowing that we are never alone, and knowing that God is handling our situation. In this knowing we find peace, we find strength, and we find the courage to face whatever comes our way. The divine has a plan for us, a perfect plan that is unfolding in every moment. All we need to do is trust, surrender, and allow the divine to work through us, knowing that everything is already taken care of. In conclusion, as we reflect on the powerful teachings of Romans 8, we are reminded that the divine is always at work in our lives, orchestrating every detail with infinite wisdom and love. Our role is not to struggle, to force things into being, or to control the outcome, but to trust, surrender, and allow the divine to handle our situations. When we release our worries and step into alignment with the divine, we create space for miracles to unfold in ways we could never have imagined. No matter what challenges we face, we are never alone. The love and support of the divine are ever present, guiding us, strengthening us, and providing for us. Every obstacle is an opportunity to deepen our trust, to surrender more fully, and to embrace the peace that comes from knowing everything is unfolding according to a divine plan. As we walk forward in faith, we can be assured that God is handling our situation. We are divinely supported, never separated from the love and wisdom that guide us. Let us embrace the truth that everything is already taken care of, and step into each moment with confidence, knowing that we are held in the perfect care of the divine.